pressure and, friends, side by side with you as we reject Trident nuclear weapon system that Westminster has dumped in our backyard. Let's remove that obscenity from our shores and spend that £250 million every year, not on global destruction, but on social protection. Preserving and enhancing social protection, now that's what I call national security.
Absolutely, Bravo!
Water Project Fear. Well, at least they're true to their mission statement. They're all about no. No is a negative, an emptiness. It promises nothing. It says you can't have. It signals rejection and looks backwards, not forwards. There is only one route to a bright new tomorrow. I'll vote for independence next year. And will yes win?
Yes!
Of course we'll win. And when yes wins, Scotland wins. We all win. The children of this wonderful nation have 361 sleeps until we vote for their future. We have a duty to ensure that when they wake up on the 19th of September 2014, we haven't let the chance of a bright future be snatched away from them. Instead, my friends, let that be a very special birthday for each and every one of them. The casting of the mould into which we will pour a new, confident and energised Scotland for them to grow up in. Let's give them the gift that will last forever. So for every last minute of those 361 days and nights, let's give this campaign, this cause, every last ounce of our energy and strength. Let's make sure we win, because the world is waiting. Overseas and across continents, people are willing us on. From all of us here today, let them hear our response. We are coming, we're coming, we're coming home. Yes, Scotland!
And next up is another former guest, the leader of the Scottish Green Party, Patrick Harvie.
Hello there. So, is anybody here thinking about voting yes? I thought so. You kind of look the type, you know. I think this crowd, I can expect to have a sense of the opportunity and the excitement that's in the air with the chance that we have to vote next year on Scottish independence. This crowd, I think, will understand the chance that Scotland has to start taking decisions for itself, to take our responsibility, to take our place in the world, and to start going our own way, to start taking the country in the direction we choose rather than having decisions imposed on us. But we have the responsibility to infuse the whole of Scotland with that excitement, with that optimism, with the ideas that are being generated. You know, there are some people in our opponents who are accusing us, they're suggesting that Scotland is on pause. They're suggesting that the referendum is stifling debate. I think this is the most creative time that I can remember in Scottish political debate. There are ideas being put onto the agenda for the future of Scotland that are fantastically creative and new and fresh. And I think all of us understand that when we see challenges and problems with the chronic inequality and poverty that we have in this country, when we see challenges about the need to move away from fossil fuel and exploitation of the environment, when we see challenges about putting our economy to rights in the interest of all of our people, we can't take that as a reason to do nothing. We can't take that as a reason to vote no. The only thing that we can do if we see challenges and problems in our society is to vote yes, to take that responsibility for our own future. But I was thinking on the march over here, because I knew I wouldn't have to work hard to persuade any of you of that, I was thinking about how Scotland has changed just during my lifetime. You know, we're on the verge of being able to generate not just all the energy we need, but all the energy some of our neighbours need from renewable resources. What a fantastic change in Scotland. We're on the... You know, we're a campaign. I think I saw a Yes LGBT banner. When I was growing up in this country, lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender people in Scotland were invisible at best, marginalised and even criminalised. This is a different country now than it was. It's a better, a more confident country. A country where we've been able, even with the limited powers of devolution, to start to forge relations with other governments and other countries around the world. We want to build on that opportunity and not only take this country forward, but give leadership to the world by putting our ideas into practice in the years to come. This is the opportunity that we have. If we can infuse Scotland with those excitement and the ideas that are being generated in Scotland, we can't but make the right decision next year. So go out there. I think not only we need this, not only that we're capable of it, I think Scotland's now ready for this. Let's go out and win it. Thank you.
Next up, Amar Anwar.
Thanks, Elaine. I'm not quite sure if there's anything left to say, but I'm going to try my best. And the first thing I'll say is there's been a lot of demands on the independence movement, asking them for timetables, asking them if they have a crystal ball. And I'll say this. I know that Scotland, if we win the referendum, won't become a paradise overnight. And it's pretty sure that we won't have permanent sunshine, we won't have iron brew despite the demands of Hamza Yousaf, and we won't have palm trees. But at least in an independent Scotland, we will not spend our lives being ashamed of the mistakes made by a Westminster Parliament.
Yes.
Apologising to the world for illegal wars, where the bedroom tax would not be imposed on the people of Scotland. A generation after generation has been priced out of the housing market by Labour Party, by the Tory Party. And now the Tories want to make sure that generations are priced out of renting a home. This sick and twisted policy will drive people from their homes, creating poverty and homelessness. And for far too long, UK governments have exploited the politics of fear by bringing in tougher anti-terror laws, by cracking down on asylum seekers, and we are encouraged as a nation to see them as scroungers. And as a Muslim, I say today that we are told repeatedly to demonstrate our Britishness. I am tired and sickened of a national debate that wants to liberate women by dictating to them what they can wear, by banning them from workplaces, by banning them from public places. The irony of this is lost, that the Taliban did exactly that to the women of Afghanistan. And now we have a Labour Party, a Tory Party, and the racists in the media that want to conduct the same debate. All of these politics of hate, energised the grateful British National Party on board to electoral success a decade ago. But now they are joined by the UKIP, by the English Defence League, and I am proud of the fact that Scotland does not welcome the likes of Nigel Farage to Scotland. These people describe pensioners. They talk about them suffering from bad housing and poverty, but they blame asylum seekers. They blame the benefit scroungers. Of course, they don't mention the fact that these people are denied the right to work. They say nothing about the government casting them into complete destitution. They talk nothing about the government threatening to take the children away from those who have suffered horrors that we will never experience. They suggest nothing that will help the plight of pensioners, but they pretend sympathy for them. They offer them nothing but hate for strangers. Westminster operates a barbaric system that allows for little hope. And this winter, for some of our pensioners, will mean freezing to death in unheated homes, Why should our children spend a lifetime paying for a bunch of bankers who could not be trusted to look after my son's piggy bank?
Hear, hear.
The unionists want hard facts and timetables, but they don't want to talk about illegal wars. They don't want to talk about Dryden. They don't want to talk about austerity and misery. They don't want to talk about freedom, justice and liberty. But I do not believe the people of Scotland are so selfish that they do not want our taxes to be used to benefit the elderly and the vulnerable. And Gordon Brown, that great political beast that was wheeled out a few months ago, warned us that voting for independence to get rid of the Tories would be a huge mistake. But after 300 years of the Union, Glasgow has 6 out of 10 of the most deprived areas in the United Kingdom, where some 51% of our children live in poverty. Life expectancy for males in parts of Scotland is the worst in Western Europe. How did it come to this? Yes. It's always fashionable for Labour to play the Tory card, but during a decade of CBI dinners, as Chancellor of Exchequer, as one of the key architects of New Labour, Gordon Brown boasted that he had done away with boom and bust politics forever, stabilising the world economy. But it was his government that ignored the will of the people that elected it to power. It was him that signed the blank cheques for illegal wars. It was him that was messianic in his pursuit of privatisation. So when Gordon Brown, along with Alistair Darling and that coalition of thieves and butchers, claimed that a vote for independence will put at risk 100 years of Labour achievements, remember this, that Chancellor out-Thatchered Thatcher. He turned London into a paradise for the super-rich, leaving us at the mercy of the bankers. Today's Labour and Tories are married to each other for better or worse. Millions of people in this country, not just in Scotland, but right throughout the United Kingdom, are desperate for change. They want to hear the arguments for and against independence. Hundreds of thousands, millions remain unconvinced either way. The unionists can recycle all the slogans they want, but they have bred ignorance, despair, fear, which gave us Scotland Tory rule again. Project Fair has nothing to offer other than negativity or the status quo. They dared to ask us for hard facts. We have hard facts for them in this movement. Number one, the removal of weapons of mass destruction from the Clyde. That is the number one, removal of weapons of mass destruction from Clyde. No more Scottish troops to die in illegal wars across this planet. Number three, living in a country where a government can offer a vision of justice, of equality and universal benefits for all. And number four, where the super rich should be and will be taxed. And number five, where our wealth and our resources will be used to combat disgraceful levels of child poverty, of youth unemployment and inequality. And I want to finish by saying this. Next September, we can win, but we have to win overwhelmingly. But only if we hold out a vision or a very different Scotland, more equal, more just. And in order to win overwhelmingly, we need to fill the vacuum that was left behind by Labour. We need to put anti-austerity at the heart of the Yes campaign. We need to fill our ranks with trade unionists, with ordinary activists, with the pensioners, with the poor and with the homeless. And there needs to be a fight over the next year to shape the independence campaign. And if we do that for the very first time, next September, we will be in control of our destiny. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
And last up is some guy called Alex Salmond, who seems to annoy the Better Together lot quite a lot.
The challenge was to fill the hill. I think we could have filled all 7 hills in our capital city. Friends, last week I visited the great tapestry of Scotland. And